guys. Welcome to another episode of Ladies with Tradies, working the trade, living the life. I'm Kate Muldoon, and I'm here today to bring a really exciting podcast to you all. I have Stacey and Jeff Connell and the beautiful Teresa Mullins, one of our coaches, with me, and we're going to talk today about how we get off the hamster wheel, how making change pays off. These guys have been in our community, in our realm for some time now. I'll have to ask them to remind me how long. And it's been a real privilege and a pleasure to watch them transform, to be inquisitive and inquiring, always open to learning. You know, the distance that they've come in the time they've been then one-on-one with Teresa versus what they've done in some of the group stuff has been nothing short of extraordinary. So I'm really happy to welcome Stacey, Jeff, and Teresa to the call. How you going, guys?
Hey.
Hey.
Very good.
Beautiful. All right. So we always start with getting to know you. So tell us about like your business name and tell us what you do, guys, and what you're about.
Well, we are a building and renovation company, mostly specialising in bathrooms. Is what our main jam is. We love our bathrooms. It's something we're very good at. But we do everything: fencing, retainer walls, small extensions. We don't do new builds, although we are looking in the future to move into that. But at the moment, our niche is definitely the more renovational side of the business.
Yeah.
Awesome. How long you been around, guys? How long you been in business?
2018. Oh, sorry, 2008. Sorry, not 18. 8.
Oh, 10 years more. Yep.
Yeah.
And so tell us about what the dream was back then when you started in 2008. What were you hoping for?
Our dream was always 100% not to work for anyone, to be our own bosses. And if something failed, it was on ourselves, not because of other people. That's why we said we'll never go into business with anyone else. So that's where we started. It's been a long, long journey, but a great one.
Yeah.
Awesome. And for you, Stace, did you start in the business back then, or?
Yeah, well, I started in like doing cleaning and things like that to be able to get Jeff in the door, like, and so he could do the building and stuff like that. So then it became the team. And yeah, so I started off in the cleaning part of doing the real estate.
Beautiful. All right. And tell us a bit about what was going on. Tell us about your coaching journey. What prompted you to even, come and get amongst the blue and pink?
Originally, it was a Stacey thing. Obviously, ladies were tradies. At the start, it was how to deal with the tradie, mostly.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's transitioned. I know I'm skipping a little weeny bit, but I feel like it's transitioned to it's a lot about the male more than the female. How to work together, really, and that's the scope of it. It's work in the end. It's working together. It's not lady and tradie. It's both. Right. So for us, that's what eventually now has come out of it. Is we work as a team now. It's not the tradie and the lady in the office. It's 100% working together for the same goal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. It gives me tingles. So tell me, Stacey, what was going on? Because you were engaged with us first without Jeff so much. So what was going on for you that you knocked on our door?
I wanted to know how I could support him in the sense of I thought that everything could have been running much easier. And I didn't know if it was just a me thing, like I wasn't doing it right, or I wasn't scheduling right, and all of that kind of thing. So it was more that how could I get better to be able to help him? Because I had no background I had a little bit of background in running a business, but not when it's like fully yours and having to do all of it. So it was just like, okay, well, how can I support him? So I was listening, and then the community, like listening to other women. It wasn't just me, and it wasn't just Jeff. It was just like it was the same in every different business. So it was that I was reaching out and just listening, trying to learn how do I get this better.
And which program did you start in? Remind me.
So I was just following you on Facebook for ages, and then I did the AMP Up.
That's right, Amp It Up.
Yeah.
Which was a program that we ran. It was a group coaching program that went over 12 weeks, and I've only just started re-talking about that program because it was an absolute ripper.
Oh, it was, yeah.
And so what was your involvement in Amp It Up, Jeff?
None.
Right. And knowing that Stacey was attending, what were you observing either in her or what was she bringing back to the kitchen bench conversation?
At that time, nothing.
Mm.
100%. And at that time, we had a separation between ourselves within the business. It was the tradie and the office. The office was pissing off the tradie over booking, and it wasn't. That's what I mean. It wasn't that flow. It wasn't that we had the same goal. We just didn't. It was. It took the coaching to get us to that where became one in having the same goal, which is crazy because we always actually did, but it always felt separated. It was always getting pissed off at the office instead of talking about it, in the right ways. It was just always angry times.
Because I would come excited to say, oh, let's learn this, let's try this, and let's do that. And
I really didn't want to do it.
So what was that about, Jeff? Like, tell us what was going through your mind, even with Stacey presenting the idea of getting support.
I feel like originally it was because it's ladies with tradies. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm not the lady. It's your thing. It's not. It just was like, well, why would I join it? I'm not the lady. That was my initial. Yeah. And the initial had been told what to do. I didn't like being told what to do from an outside source that didn't know my business. I didn't know my business. That's what the retarded thing was. I didn't know my business.
Yeah, okay. And so because I remember vividly, I just had a flashback to the phone call, Stace, where you eventually were like, we're doing it. I was wandering around my backyard here in Humpty Doo because we have crappy reception here.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you about it and being like, oh, is Jeff ready though? Like, he's been a little bit of a wallflower in all of this and we don't really know him much. Like, we need to know that he's going to be committed to this. And you're like, well, we can't do it anything else. So we have to, like, he just has to.
Yeah. And that was exactly it. We had to, because I knew I was getting so much from, like, doing the amp up and all that kind of stuff. And I knew that this was the next level. And he was taking on different things without even knowing that the changes were happening without him actually knowing. And I knew that I couldn't explain it as well as what you guys were explaining it to me. So, and I was watching Teresa as well, and it was just like, and doing all the different coaches and just going, oh my goodness, Jeff, you have to do it. So,
awesome. Yeah. So you were rubber armed a bit, Jeff, I suppose, by the sound of it at the start.
I think we both in the end were like, I don't want to keep playing this business game thing that we're doing anymore unless I know we're making money. It was just, I was sick of working like a dog and just still feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. And that was like, and once we started the training and it started officially, it was very quick.
Yeah.
It was actually very quick for us to go, oh shit. Yeah, that's actually a little bit easier. Even though we've got busier, it's actually got easier.
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Take a snippet from that marketing team. We're busier, but it's easier. And so so you said it was quick. What was quick, Jeff?
Our mindset of, no, we're making a change.
Wow. Why?
No, we just
what was it that Teresa showed you, or that was?
I think it was the confidence of having Teresa behind us and and her. I love her personality because she will tell you how it is. And that's what people like me need. She will hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And she's not afraid to tell you no. But be the biggest pat on your back that you need to be able to go, fuck yeah, that was so worth it. And seeing her excited made us very excited to want to make those changes. So that's it's multiple reasons, but we could see the changes very quickly that we were making were the right ones. So it made it much easier.
And what was the result that you saw, Jeff, that convinced you like, whoa, this is working?
Figures,
Mm.
less work, but more work. It's so stupid. And definitely a lot less stress. Like I'm a stress head. I'm being, the typical born warrior that worries about everything that could and maybe. But that's nearly gone.
Yeah.
You know, I have my normal stressful stuff with normal business stuff that comes up. But nothing like it used to be, because we have removed a lot within our business that we were doing a lot of. That was definitely not benefiting our business. And the moment we did that, it opened up a world of new stuff.
That was hard to let go.
But very hard to let go.
Awesome. All right. Well, I reckon we'll cover off some of that. I've got so many questions. This is brilliant. All right. So, Teresa, tell me about what you saw when these guys first came to your screen.
I'm actually just sitting here feeling so emotional, like recapping the journey, to be honest. When these guys started, exactly what Jeff said, like he wasn't in a great space, like totally burning out, totally overwhelmed. I love how you said, Jeff, that you were angry at the office. I love that he's not being too direct. So yeah, there was heaps of overwhelm. And again, I agree that you two were not really, I don't think you led on to me how much disconnect there was between the two of you. So in one way I knew, but then I was like, oh, I'm not seeing a lot of that. But to see where you started to where you are now, I'm like, oh wow, yes, 100-fold. Like there was that, just not being on the same page, or that really unsure of where are we going with this. That was Jeff's thing. He's like, I'm not going to keep going like this. I'm actually done. And if things don't change, I'm out of here. And I was like, wow. So he was ready. He was, honestly, when I first started, I was like, how much am I going to see this guy? Like, I'll be honest. And man, week after week after week, he showed up every single session and he was just there. He was ready. Nothing was too much. Like, of course, I would say something and it'd be like, what? Like, how could I do that? Or it's not that easy, all that pushback that we get from the tradies. And yeah, he did it anyway. Like he just did it anyway. And you did trust the process, Jeff. Like I have to take my hat off that you 100% trusted that process and seen the results. These two were playing in the weeds. I'm talking handyman, pissy little jobs. I'm like, what are we doing here? And again, like Stacey said, it was so hard for them to let go of that. But as they did and they seen the result, that's all it took, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, T, what was the first result that you were driving them to? What can you remember the first result that you were aiming for with them to be?
I think the first thing was probably, where are we going? Like, what do we want to achieve with this, and getting them on the same page. Not necessarily on the same page because you both wanted the same thing. It was just talking about it. It was actually just having those conversations, talking about their fears and the dream about where we want to go and what we want to do. So I think that was one of the very first things. And then once we identified that, I reckon it was like, yeah, we got out of the weeds with that. The smaller jobs. It was like, well, what are we doing playing here if that's not the end game? We got to let this go. We talked a lot about the law of vacuum and those sorts of things about what we put out and, all that cool woo-woo stuff that we talk about.
How'd you go with the woo-woo, Jeff?
It wasn't too bad with it. Because I am a bit woo-woo, it wasn't too much of a, but it was also, I think, I'm a bit woo-woo, but we never acted on the woo-woo. Like, do you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that's one thing that I feel we're flooded with in whether it be social media or whatever around what coaching is. And I get so shitty watching these absolute wankers out there talking about, oh, just freaking put it out to the universe and you'll attract the things that you want. Like, what a fucking load of shit, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. I think that one of our good things is that we do the mindset stuff, but we're real about it. Like, you're getting woo-wooed, but you don't know because it feels like you're being slapped around instead of being woo-wooed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a fair kind of
Yeah.
overview of what your experience was,
Yeah.
Jeff,
Yeah.
do you reckon?
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
it is just trust in the process. For the tradie, they're so stuck in your ways.
Yeah.
And to actually say, okay, I'm going to say no to that or say yes to something new it's definitely not the easiest thing to do, but worth every bit.
And
Yeah.
having someone accountable, hey?
Yeah.
Like,
we've made decisions within the business without Teresa knowing, and then it came to Wednesday, and we're like, oh fuck, I don't want to tell her this. She's gonna be so bad. And then Stacey would be like jobbing me in for something that I've said yes to with a client, and so it works. If we made it fun,
yeah.
and it's made it easier. It hasn't been a chore to do it on a Wednesday. It actually annoys me when I'm actually out running around doing stuff that I can't be in the office.
Wow.
Or sort of sometimes. But when I'm out, I try to always, if I miss, I jump on in my car. I might sometimes be a tiny bit late, but I do always try to make an appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's only been one that I've actually fully missed one.
Yeah. Wow, that's huge. Considering I was like, and like T said, is he even going to roll into these sessions? So that's awesome. All right. So you did start touching, Jeff, on letting go of certain types of work and choosing better work or better clients. Tell us about that process for you. Like you said, you just got to trust the process. What did you go through in order to be like more certain and intentional about the type of work you're doing? Rightio legends, time to talk business promotion without feeling like a total wanker. Join Ladies with Tradies for our not so shameless business promotion workshop, an in-person event that shifts humble bragging into confident, authentic business storytelling that lands the right customers. It's coming mid-October to Yarrawonga, Victoria, a lakeside bizcation at the stunning Siebel Hotel. You'll learn the skills from down-to-earth business people in how to share the real story of your business and what you offer and how to get yourselves out there, all without making it about socials, websites, and wank. This one's for those who want to stand out without feeling like a tosser. Secure your spot now at ladieswithtradies.com/events. That's ladieswithtradies.com/events. See you there.
Oh, it was hard because obviously our business has grown off maintenance work, and we've always wanted to go away from the maintenance, but there was never a good time. It was always a good backup. If the bigger jobs weren't there, the smaller jobs would counteract it. So for us to say, yeah, we're going to remove that and just trust that our big jobs are going to flow in, was huge. But the business name change was what helped at the same time, because obviously to move away from that maintenance stuff, well, you don't want to have a business name that sounds like a maintenance company. So changing from Connell's property maintenance to Connell's building and renovation helped instantly.
Isn't that insane? And I've said this often about even role titles in businesses and the way that we attach ourselves or associate ourselves to a name or a label, how much it can just elevate and level you up by just that mere name change. So,
and with Teresa, obviously it wasn't just that, it was the name change, the whole business change around, money flow, job checking. So it wasn't just a small thing. We had to flow the new name change into everything that we were doing, which wasn't small. Plus, then trusting to bring a social media guy within our business now, which has been another next level thing. But that's another, you're forking out more money for that, so you got to trust that. Putting another office girl on to, but it's made it easier. It really has.
Yeah, and you're still making more money even though you're forking out money.
Yes.
Crazy.
Because our jobs gone from smaller jobs to bigger jobs. It actually creates less office work because there's less invoicing for Stacey and the girls to do in the office because you're not doing 10 invoices a day. You're only doing probably one a fortnight. And it just gives them more time to do more back of house stuff.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
yeah.
Love it. And Jeff, tell me about, so one of the big challenges a lot of the fellas have, and we obviously show you in Tools for Profit, like without any word of doubt, what has to be done from a charge out rate perspective. How was that for you when you were working through charge out rates and billable hours and break even with Teresa? What happened?
We were so undervaluing ourselves.
Do you remember by how much?
By over $50 an hour.
Yeah.
Whoa.
A lot.
That's just for him.
That's
and then
just
we're undercharging for
So it just flowed down. It
tradies
down.
as well.
Yes. It was crazy.
So did it help having that data in front of you or that information?
It helped having someone, not for me, I'm not a data person. It's having Teresa staring at me going, fuck no. You are undervaluing your personal self and your work. Like, if they want a cheap person, go get a handyman. Well, you're not a handyman. And it was a big thing for me to up my prices, but it made no difference to me getting work at all. And then we worked up on it. We put it up, and then we started quoting. We were getting every quote, and then Teresa's like, "Well, your price, you have not reached your top yet. So keep going up a little bit more. When you start losing some quotes, that's when you're nearly finding your ceiling." So that's what we did. So we're right on that balance now, and we could probably still go a little bit more.
Oh, you got that written down, T? Sounds like the next challenge. He said it. Let's do it.
Awesome. But because we're getting much more confident in ourselves while we're quoting now, because we know where we're at. We know what we need to charge. And if we know we don't reach that, well, we don't need that job. It's saying no to people now that we're getting used to.
We're getting pretty good.
Getting pretty good. Where they go, it's too expensive. Oh, no worries. Good luck.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, because I always thought if they didn't say yes to me, it was something bad about me.
Right.
So once I got past that, and I was like, well, I don't care because I'm not going to make money and I'm not going to go backwards. I'm not going to be bothered with it. It's the next day and someone else rings and it flows on to the next one. And I'm not going to say it's going to stay like that. It's going to get hard. And the next challenge will start in hunting that next job. It is what it is.
So good. And Jeff, so you were obviously guided by the figures to a degree because usually the resistance to that price increase is pretty high until you're shown the impact of what you were charging. So when you saw that at the start and you realized, oh my God, we're like $50 under or whatever the number was, what did that do for you? Like, did it scare you? Did it motivate you? Give me a bit of insight.
It motivated both of us 100% to get rid of the maintenance because that's where that was causing it. Because you can't, maintenance is such smaller jobs. You can't charge out that hourly rate like you would on a bigger job. So once we're quoting a bigger job, it's a lot easier to put out your rate for what it is worth. But if you're going to do a small little job, you can't charge that rate. You are just taking the piss out of people. And instead of I'd rather get a bad name than get, taking the piss out of someone.
Yeah.
No, I would rather, no, anyway, who knows what I was trying to say.
But you'd rather work in a segment of the industry that is accepting of the price as it is than work in a segment of the industry that will reject that type of price increase. Yeah, okay, great. So that's pretty huge because and why the power of our tools for profit application, I think, and I'll ask you about this too, T, is if it's flashing red at you, we show you it's flashing red, it's going dung dung. We're well behind where we need to be for a business of your size and the type of work that you're doing. We specialize in trades, so we know what numbers you should be hitting. That's one thing I'm super proud of because and it helps you. Like hearing you say, Jeff, the pace to result was so fast, like just makes my heart sing because back when I started this thing, I didn't have all that, right? And it took me longer to get into the head of a bloke like you. It would sometimes take 6 months to get that mindset shift happening, but you put mindset work plus data in front of a tradie and go, hey, brother, if you don't change, you might as well go get a job because you're currently working for $25 an hour. It's a pretty powerful thing. So, T, what did you observe in these guys in that process?
Mate, when they came to me, like, we'll just be honest, yeah. Like, Stacey's like, oh, a P&L, what's that? How do I read that? What does that mean? There was not a lot of knowledge in that area at all. We picked up on a fair few, I don't know, mistakes or things that were being done that were actually altering the numbers that we needed to change the process on. And we picked up on that pretty early on, didn't we, Stace? And you really, like, again, to look from at the beginning how we used to do numbers. So I used to support them every week. It was like we did it together. We had to check over it. It was a lot of work doing that side of things because there was so much to learn and to teach and to unpack. She's a guru. Like, I don't know how much I can say, but these guys are potentially looking at a second business. And Stacey's like, well, I asked for this, and this is what I looked at on the P&L, and I noticed this on the balance sheet and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at you go. Like, what we've achieved and what you've achieved in 12 months is just phenomenal. So yeah, now they understand numbers, they understand percentages, they know KPIs, and that is also absolutely what helps make those decisions with workflow. So yeah.
I find the biggest thing out of all of what we've learned and done is working to our monthly budget. Making sure that monthly we are watching our monthly budget has been a game changer.
Yeah.
And we work on that.
Breakeven, Jeff. Yep.
Yes, we work on that multiple times a week. That is something we do watch, and we change and shift and move and start or pull. We never ever did that, but that keeps everything at a flow much better and easier than we ever thought it would. Yeah. Like that break even, once we found it with Teresa and understood it. Yeah. Yeah, now we really concentrate on that. That's just one massive. I find that's the biggest thing that we follow now is our break even.
And we learned that even though the job comes in a particular order, we're allowed to move that job around to this job to make it work for the boys. Like we don't have to go, oh, they booked in this one first and then that one and that one. Like that was priceless as well. Like,
so you've gone from just jabbing whatever in whenever and not really knowing how the cash flow will land, but to now being like creating predictable cash flow based on your break-even numbers and the goals that sit beside that, and moving your schedule to align to hit those targets. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Correct.
And especially because
huge.
If you would do a course normally and you would learn, okay, there's this new thing I've learned and it's about following your break even, right? And then you'd be like, sweet, I've learned it. And then you go, okay, have fun. You've learned something new. But it's not about, it's having Teresa every week, then go through it again with us. Hey, I want to check it. Hey, I want to check it. Hey, I want to check it. It actually then, we're learning it so well, not fully yet. We're not 100%, but because she's checking on us, with the coaching, it's reminding you to double check it, and you're getting better at it. And we just comfortably move stuff without freaking out, because that's what you do. And it becomes a bit easier.
So
and
how
break even becomes normal.
right.
Instead of scary.
So tell me, let's just for the listeners to understand a bit more about break even. So break even is the money that you have to make just to open the doors, right? Have you got a goal over break even at the moment though? Because break even's one thing, but then it's like you've clearly got revenue targets that are well in excess of what your break even is.
We haven't fully yet, but they have been. They're there, but we haven't fully set.
We're still dealing with some old stuff.
Yeah.
The old stuff's sort of covering, following us a little weeny bit. And I think once we catch with that, not bad debt. It's not debt. It's just the way we had done accounting.
Old quoted work.
Yeah, and the way we had done our accounting before has screwed us a little bit in making that perfection. But we are so close to seeing those and aiming for that next thing. That's like, I think 100% our next big thing is like moving to that. Like we're hitting our break evens pretty much all the time. Yep. And there's a few now that we're definitely over. Yeah.
So this next half of the year, like for sure, that is the goal, and we're working on the profitability now, aren't we, team? It's like, right, yes, that's the bare minimum that we need, but hey, look, we're going to be 100,000 over that in 3 months, or
huge. And that level of understanding and how quickly you've got to that is incredible. And I'm always with builders, so the builders out there that are listening, there is a hangover effect that we have to deal with often if you're so far booked in advance with your work. And so that's what Jeff's talking about when he says, we're still like working through some old shit. That's the old dollars that he used to quote, the work that's he's still got to, obviously he's committed to, that has to wash through. But to hear that you're already like exceeding your expectations, even though you've still got the wash through happening in 12 months, massive.
Yeah.
Some builders don't even turn in 2 years if they don't, because they don't know this stuff. So that's pretty cool to hear. All right. So you've also, Jeff, made some pretty positive lifestyle changes for yourself. So you talked earlier about, it was just work, work, work. You were stressed all the time. You were probably a bit down in the dumps, maybe on the borderline of some pretty shaky mental health, possibly. Not that you've said that, but I'll make some assumptions.
Yep.
Tell me about the lifestyle that you've been able to work on now that you've afforded yourself some more time and headspace.
Well, I'm just going to call it like it is.
Yeah, man.
I was pretty much an alcoholic.
Okay.
Pretty much, you could say, yes.
So tell me what that means. Like, how much would you have been drinking, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, it was 3 to 4 cartons of 30 packs a week.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was not, and the worst part is it was a bit hidden from Stacey, so she didn't really realise it was that much. So that was pretty shitty. Yeah.
And
so it took me nearly losing my marriage and my business to stop. I'm not saying I've quit drinking. I quit drinking for 6 months, cold, and it changed everything. So it opened my eyes to my business, opened my eyes to my wife, made me realize, holy shit, this is actually a team thing. Like the drinking was hiding a lot, but it had nothing really to do with business. It was probably just myself. But as I said, I didn't quit drinking. I didn't want to put a quit. I'm not quitting drinking. I didn't want to put a time on it. I knew if I want to have a drink again, I waited till I went on holidays. And I went on holidays, and my first drink was overseas with my kids and my wife, and my first drink was in a bar overseas, so I could say, wow, I did 6 months without a drink.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming back from holidays, I'm trying to navigate that whole drinking like a human again, like real person drinking. Like, I don't drink through the week at all anymore. Like, there's no drinking through the week. On Fridays, I'll have a drink at the bar with the boys. And then the weekend thing, I'm still not perfect at, you know.
But he's doing a friggin' awesome job at it.
So I had one moment, I had beers, and I didn't tell Stacey. We had a bit of a, she got a bit pissy at me, which I 100% understand why. She doesn't want to see me go backwards.
Yeah.
So I'm still a work in progress with that. Like, I want to be able to have a drink with my wife, and like a normal person though. I have that pretty bad addictive personality where I could easily fall back into it, and I won't allow myself to. But I understand why she would get emotional and stressed about it, because she doesn't want to go back to that, and I don't want to put her back in that. So I need to still work on what works good for me, and it's not going to be overnight. The whole drinking through the week has definitely no. Unless we are going out to something, the only time I'll drink is if I can still drive. So that's how I've worked it in my own head. If I want to have a drink, I have to still be able to drive. If I have a drink through the week. And the weekends, that's a bit different. If we're going out, I'll have a drink. But when it comes to business now, I was so unprofessional. Drinking in front of my staff. I was shit. So I don't allow that at work anymore. Obviously, if we're going to have a drink, there's no going to the pub and buying drinks. It's you go to the pub and you have a couple of drinks with the boys after work, and all my staff leave at the same time. If they want to stay on, they stay on. But I drink, and I still am able to drive. If I can't drive, then I've had too much. Then I'm a shithead.
Right.
I want to go back to that.
You've created some structure. Sorry, T. Go.
Yeah, like, yes, since you've got back, things have been challenging, like it's a new challenge, but I don't want us to overlook or dismiss. Yeah, I think it was actually 7 or 8 months that you went without. Yeah, so it was more than 6. And that journey was not an easy journey, but you did phenomenally. Like, these guys went to the shitbox rally, and he didn't touch a drink. Everyone around him is drinking and boozing and carrying on. And,
That was hard. I'm not going to lie, that was hard.
It was hard,
but
you did it. And you did it, mate. Like, you have worked so hard, and you had set a goal that, yes, I want to go overseas. I want to enjoy a drink. I want it to be meaningful. And you did that, Yeah. And again, I think the next few months for us is working on that mindset as well, of like what's underlying with that, the temptations, or what, it's a mindset thing, really, isn't it? Just like
it is a tradie thing.
Yeah, and it is a mentality,
tradie comfort thing. I feel like, unfortunately, it's become too much of a
culture.
spectacle. It is a bad culture. Pokies, beer, hanging out at the pub too long. I never did that though. Even when I was drinking at my heaviest, I never sat at the pub.
No.
I would buy alcohol and drink in the car. Not driving. I never drank and drove. I was bad. I'm so strict on that. But I would make the boys drive, and I'd be drinking at the end of the day, and then at home. I wouldn't sit at the pub, so thank God I didn't. But I wasn't that. But I see it a lot. The amount of tradies, and for whatever, they're on their own journey. That's fine. But I sort of walk past it now and think, damn, dude, how much of that pokey money is rent? It's hard for me because, and there is nothing wrong with having a beer at the pub with the boys. It actually is good to have a beer at the pub with the boys on a Friday afternoon, because it's something to work towards. Not every afternoon, because it becomes the norm. And then all the other bad habits kick in. But I think on a Friday afternoon, having a couple of beers with your staff is great. But I think one thing I want to start introducing as well is there's multiple staff. Just because the girls in the office are in the office, they're still staff. They should actually be having a beer at the pub on a Friday with the staff.
So it's about how you, by the sound of it, Jeff, it's, and we are in a privileged position as business owners, aren't we, to have this influence over the people that work for us, because there's always a level of respect there that people have for their leaders, and it's going, how can you influence your positive change and share that with others and create, I guess, really what you're talking about is your own boundaries and like really showcasing and demonstrating through actions what's possible for tradies. And
yeah, but I want to 100% put it out there that I haven't been perfect.
I know,
I
and
have slipped.
the thing
And
is, it's
I just want to make sure that she knows that I know that I slipped.
Yeah.
Not horrendously bad,
yeah,
but I disappointed her, which disappoints me once. And that was enough for me to really piss myself off and go, okay, refocus, be a man and stick to what you said you're going to do. And that's sometimes really fucking hard.
Yeah. And I love this vulnerability. It's absolutely beautiful. And I know that it will help other people. They'll go, oh my God, this is me. Stace, can I ask you what you've seen that's different about Jeff since he's been on this journey with the drinking?
Yeah. I can talk to him. Like, that's a massive thing. Not saying that that when he had too many to drink, it was just like, he was like a different person in the sense of like, if I would say something, he would be like, no, that's not how it went, or something like that. Like, it was just like, now we can have conversations, and I can see that he wants better. He wants the improved Jeff. Like, it's like, I've said it before to a lot of people. This guy is like a better guy than the guy that I married. Like, and that guy was pretty awesome. And now this guy is just like, yeah, the 2.0 of Jeff is incredible. I love that he can sit in front of other tradies and say that he's not drinking. Like, that's huge. Like, it's like that just, I'm so proud of that. Like, that, if anything, that is incredible. And he did it so well. He did it really, 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 really well. So
it wasn't instantly though, because I battled to try to give it stop for ages and ages and ages, and I realized I had pretty much reached the point of, if I don't,
he's gonna lose everything.
I'm gonna lose everything. And that's stupid as a male, but we all fucking do it. We wait until you're totally pissed off, and right at the end, before we actually do something about some of the stupid shit that we do, we wait until we really go, oh fuck, I really did this or that's really at the point of no return. I don't understand why we do it, but we do. And then we have 2 months of being really good, and then we do it all again, and then we do it, and then we make up. And I think it's the norm in a lot, but once I realised, nah, that's it, bang. I found it easy in the end because, wow, one, the business changed. So thank you, Teresa. So I saw a change in that. And then I understood a lot of it because I was actually able to sit within myself and hear the shit and hear what we were doing. And that I was listening because
you could take it.
I was taking it in because I wanted to. Whereas before, when they probably get pissed. Well, not get pissed, but I was just in a different space.
Yeah. And it's often, we're trying to numb something, or we're trying to zone out from something, or we're using alcohol as a rule for some type of escapism, whatever it may be. Not because life's necessarily bad or anything like that, but there's some mechanism that we're internally that we're running from. So it's the other so one of the prompts for me to talk to you guys in hearing your story, Jeff, was we've also got another podcast coming up from a guy named Nick Blair, and it's called he runs Mind Health Bender, and his approach is very similar to what you're working on, Jeff, around sobriety is not an option for some people, but it's about looking at the behaviors and limiting when it happens rather than eliminating.
Yeah.
So it's limitation rather than elimination. And so, I encourage everybody to have a listen to the podcast that we've done with Nick as well, because everything that you're saying, Jeff, is exactly what Nick and I talked about in the context of tradies and how we can manage ourselves within managing the drinking. So, thank you for that candor and for your honesty, because that's brave. Um, you know, People listen to this and connect with it and be blown away with your level of transparency and honesty and willingness to make that change. And it's awesome to hear how much it's paying off for you. So cool.
I wonder if we could just add, like at the beginning, you did get support, like you went and seen your doctor and you did get medical support as well to start the process.
Yeah.
So you did, reach out and absolutely got vulnerable and got help, didn't you? Yeah.
And I think that's important too, because, 3 cases is a considerable amount, and it's actually quite dangerous to go it alone if you're cold turkey it.
Correct.
People don't understand. I mean, my nursing background helps me to support people with the knowledge that you can have seizures from withdrawal and you can really be unwell. So anybody who's got, if you're doing anything from 4 to 6 stubbies a night, most days, then you need to be careful if you're going down this path. So that's a good point, T. It's like go and seek some medical advice. So
and there is a lot out there.
Yeah.
Heaps of help. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, when you're ready for it, and good stuff. Oh God, I feel like we could talk all day. That being said, the hamster wheel, right? So we've talked about in the context of not just doing the same old work that we always did because it's not getting us anywhere. We've talked about it from a lifestyle perspective and, getting off that drinking hamster wheel and just that day-to-day thing. I want to talk a bit now or ask a bit now about letting go. And I know this is still a journey for you, Stacey. And Jeff, it'll be interesting to hear from your perspective what you see of Stace through this process too, because it's so very, very impressed that Stacey's gone on to put in some admin support, and she's enlisted, as Jeff said, a social media person. T's given her a big clap at the moment on the screen. That being said, Stacey's one of the wives that we would kind of identify, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying, who sort of edges on the side of maybe a bit of a control freak or liking to know everything about everything and how it works and wanting to white knuckle life in running it all. Is that a fair observation, Jeff?
Yeah.
Stace, am I being hard or?
No, you're being truthful.
And so when the ladies are, they are white knuckling all of the things, like literally having their fingers in every single pie, it's a different kind of stress often to what the boys or the tradies will experience, but it's stress all the same. So let's talk first, Stace, about what stopped you for so long from getting help.
It's just doing this. I just
Trust.
and trust. Yeah, I couldn't stop for long enough to even think about it, let alone having someone put in here that I have to then teach, and then they weren't going to get it, and then it's just like there's going to be more work for me, and it was just that wheel going around and around and around, and I was tired, I was cranky, I was controlling, I was annoying, it was just suffocating. So it was just like something again had to give. So
what did you note, T, like at the beginning in Stace? Like what could you see from a coaching perspective that was going to be your challenge in supporting her through the letting go?
Again, it's the doing everything at, 0.5%, like just trying to do it all and not being able to get it done. So we would obviously set goals, or we would say, let's do this. And then we'd meet again. It's like, oh, didn't get to that because of this, this, and this. And it's like, all right, how long do we let that story go for? Like, we could stay on this wheel for a year, 2 years. We can, as long as you want, we can stay here. And I really pushed her. I pushed her very, very hard. And the stories, I love that you're being so honest about, but then I'm going to have to train someone. And how am I going to find anyone that does it as good as me? But we did disc profiling, and, as soon as, I'll let you tell the story, Stace, about when you put the job ad up. And
yeah, that was incredible. So I put the ad up. Then I got, within a couple of minutes, I got a message from a girl called Beck that I did know, and she worked at a hardware, and she messaged me and just go, like, I want the job. And it was just like, no way. So I instantly then quickly took down the ad, because it was just like, she's it. That's it. But then I went, oh no, I have to do this thing, and hopefully she is it, because I really wanted to be it. And then, she was it. So it's perfect.
So what made her it once you got that profile? And obviously you already had some kind of connection, Jeff.
She was actually my trade specialist from Bunnings. We used to work at Bunnings, and she was my trade specialist. So I've known her for years. She lives 5 doors up from my house, where the office is. It just was a jag effort.
Yeah.
But she's extremely good at what she does.
So how long has she been with you?
She'd be 5 months now, I would say.
From a disc perspective, again, filled the gaps, didn't she? Of
100%.
each of your profiles, and she has strengths that you two don't have. And yeah, it's been a really good fit. And now Stace just gets things done. Jeff's like, she doesn't have enough to do now.
Yeah, exactly. I went overseas for 4 weeks, and I just went, nah, she's got this. Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, the tables turned that time, which was really interesting. And before Stace left, I remember she's like, this is the process that I want with the emails. I want everything to go to this folder, and I'll be checking this and that. I was like, Stacey, bullshit. I was like, yeah, that is ridiculous. And she's like, oh.
Oh.
We completely.
I was harassing my tradies while we were away for the first week. I struggled to let go because there was a couple of big jobs we were finishing off and handing over, and so I was making phone calls and I wasn't getting replies, so I got really pissed off. And then my staff had a meeting with Teresa, and the message came back to me that Teresa had put out to all my staff and said, Teresa said, fuck off.
How fun. And that is
so
awesome.
I did.
I messaged Stace and Jeff, and I said, mate, we've got this. Like, everything's okay. Go and have fun. And Stace said, as soon as you sent that message, was that right, Jeff? You were able to just switch off and you were like, oh, yes, okay.
Yeah.
It is being taken care of, and it's not going to fall to pieces.
And that was another good thing, having Teresa. It was just like the staff, we knew that the staff could ring her at any time if there was a problem, and
or just be there.
Made our business enough to just go, do this, do that if you need to. Like, that was priceless.
And very much our roles, I guess, from a coaching perspective. And look, I promise you at Ladies with Tradies, we do get in the trench a bit more hardcore than most business coaches. So like we don't take on huge volumes of clients because we want to be able to be available to you as like your own staff member. And so, our job becomes when our clients go away overseas or whatever they do, shipbox rallies like unreal. we become the coach to the staff. And
Mhm.
so it's not our job to tell them what to do. It's our
Yeah.
job to ask them how they think they want to do it, because it's all about that capacity building in the absence of their leader. And so what do you reckon it did for their confidence, your staff, by you letting go and like eventually Jeff, after a week, what do you think it did for them?
It's been phenomenal, actually. Okay, because I came back and there was a couple of things I wasn't totally happy with, but I was able to use that in the right way as a training point for Glenn, my builder, and he's just done the final finish on our latest handover, which I went this morning to check, and I hardly found a thing, and I was like, yes. So just that one thing from being on holidays to coming home, being able to use that job and say, your building's amazing, but your attention to detail needs work, but not getting mad like I used to. And I used it I built him up with it at the same time. And as he said, you're normally here and you normally do that bit. You're normally that one that ferries over things and make things perfect. And I'm like, well, I want you to be that person. So when I went over today to check the job that he was on, that we've been on, he was on handover yesterday, and that I was a bit stressed yesterday because I had issues with the job to be finished, and I went over there this morning and I was like, holy fuck, yes. Look how sexy this was. I didn't have to do hardly anything. I spent 20 minutes at the job. I left him to finish handover, and I came home to do this.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
How cool is that?
Oh, man, so cool. And so what does that evoke in you, Jeff? Like did you have a moment with that? Like what
I
did you
did on the way home. I was like, holy shit, it worked. It worked. Slowing down and not getting aggressive, because I was pissed off. Obviously, when I was away, there was a few things that I could just see in a photo, because I'm a bit OCD. I like things the way I like it. I see stuff that I think everyone else should see, and that's not easy to learn. That is 100% not easy to learn, and I can't stress enough. Like I can't train that into people. It's a time thing, and me expecting them to do it was wrong. But from having him do it himself, to then hear a positive feedback on the job, and then see he flipped it, and who used to say the next one won't be a bit poopy, but who cares? This one
we're
was
going to
amazing.
trust, aren't we, Jeff? We're going to trust
Yes.
that,
But he was, and to say that, this one was probably the hardest one to have a nice finish on, because what we were doing. But I was stoked. I was totally stoked.
Yeah.
And so was he, because he could see that I was stoked with him, because I could see his little proud chest, and oh yeah, I thought I did this, and he was showing me around like a little kid that he'd done this, and I was just so I did this, and he's been with me nearly 10 years, so you would think he would just do that. But we have
that's so great to so even that, Jeff, right? So he's been with you 10 years, but the shift in you is creating more motivation and
He even told me the other day how proud he was of me of not drinking.
Yeah, wow.
This is a 22-year-old telling me, I'm so proud of how you're not been drinking. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Shut up.
We've got to get all up.
It wasn't. It was just funny hearing it from him.
But the thing is, so you've obviously showcased enough vulnerability as a leader for them to also reflect back vulnerability to you. And I've been talking to a few tradies about this lately, is you're going to get the best from your people if you put your walls down yourself.
Yeah, being hard used to be the thing. It's not cool anymore. It is not.
Yeah.
It is really not. We've got a new apprentice that started, and he's had a bit of a life, and he wouldn't talk about nothing, and I just made a point to not take him under my wing as such, which I am, because he's now my apprentice, but one of the biggest things he needed to know straight away, you can tell me anything. You can talk to me about anything. You just have to talk to me. Most tradies won't do that. It's just you start work, you finish work, you go to work, you're in the apprentice, you're in the corner. So I started it from the start. his first day, it was talking to him. And the second day or the third day, it just got better and better. And then fourth day, he just opened up, told me his life story, nearly identical to mine. So now we have that little bit of a bond, and I've found that bond with him. So I'm getting, his work is just amazing because he's found a bond with me. I've found a bond with him. It's just a perfect working relationship. And you need that. If you want good staff, you can't just have, it's just not staff. They need to be a part of your family a little bit. There still needs to be that I'm your boss and you're my employee, but there's nothing in the book that says you can't, have that little bit extra with them that makes you know that you care about them.
Yeah, beautiful.
Not just about the work.
Read that message, listeners, those leaders out there. All right, so we just want to come back to Stace for one last question around this letting go thing. What's been the outcome for you, Stace, of embracing the idea of trusting the process, which has been a bit of a theme for today, of letting go and bringing in support for you? How has that changed your work?
I think I was starting to resent the business because it wasn't mine as such. I know it was, but it was just something that I was kind of thrown into to do the offers, and I had no training. I was winging it, as we can tell by some of the things that I was doing, but it was like, I'm now on a high, like now I'm chasing it. I want to be better. I want to understand more. Like, it has allowed me to find another life within this business that I've loved because I was able to do so much with my kids, and we've had a fantastic freedom and everything, but it's given me light back, and I get to do now the things that I am passionate about, like handing it over to Beck with all the stuff that I'm not good at. And why do something that I'm not good at? And you're 100%. I was doing a lot of half-assed stuff that nothing was getting done, where now I can see it all, and it's just like, this is neat and that's neat, and we've got procedures here and we've got that there, and I can go on a holiday and not even think about the business. Where at Christmas time, Teresa gave me a challenge to do. I nearly died. She said I had to turn and not look at my email and not answer my phone. And it was just like, what? For 2 weeks, I can't do that. Like, I was seriously having heart palpitations. It was just like, no, not doing it. And she's given me that freedom. I have never, it's okay not to answer an email straight away.
And you know what that's done, though? It has actually weeded out the shit clients.
Yeah.
Because obviously I do remember ages ago when we were doing Ladies with Tradies, and there was that thing about your A and B client, your levels of client, and whether you need, how much work you put into each of those clients reflects the business. One, the shit clients are shit money and take up more of your time than your good clients with big money. That's one thing we realised. And like email, the same people used to harass her all the time, changing our freaking phone number from personal to business is huge. Different email, that's business, not freaking personal. Two big things that I would say to any business owner. Remove that from your life and separate it. Otherwise, you'll never have a separation of your personal and business.
Huge.
So I recall a convo we had, I think, on voice note, Stace, ages ago, because Stace sends the most beautiful, heartfelt voice notes, and she's like the fangirl that everybody needs in their. And that's obvious that you've been that for Jeff, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things to watch from my perspective from a distance. Obviously, I'm not in the trench with you, but I remember you saying, Stace, I know that there's more for me, but I don't know what it is. And I watch what you're doing and I think, what is that for me? What does that look like for me? How can I do that? Or how can I be that? And you've had this undertone in your being, knowing that there is more for you. And you are now on the path to whatever that could be, and you've got all this capability and creating the freedom in order to fill that for you. And so
100%.
I can see T's getting a bit emotional there. What's hit the chord there, T?
Oh, just exactly that. Like working with these ladies to achieve that, and for them to have that space to think about what it might be, or, you know, dream outside of what they're doing and get off the hamster wheel. Get off the hamster wheel to be, actually, I want a 3-day work week. And I want a day to go and have coffees with my girlfriends and get massages and, you know, go out with the kids or whatever it is. Like, yeah, just that's why we go into business for ourselves. And yet we get stuck in the working longer and harder than we ever have or we ever would. So to see you get to that point of like, oh my gosh, now I can see what they're talking about. Like, now I can see that could be my reality.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, it gets me.
So good. And do you see that, Jeff? Like, have you got a happier Stace as well?
Oh, 100%. She's not in the office till 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, thinking, I mean, sometimes she stays later in the office, but nowhere near as bad. Like, oh my God.
Do you know?
But she's starting to shut off. Like, someone will ring and I'll see a number and I'm like, are you going to get it? She goes, no. She'll go, no. I'll have to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
That never happens.
You know, I'm not totally against the 2 a.m.s if we're on a high or on a roll on the thing that we're passionate about. So I think, you know, always being mindful that, of course, we don't want to be up till 2 a.m. But if you're on a roll and you are frothing what you're doing and that's the zone that you are in, let's not make that wrong, okay? It's when the 2 a.m.s are happening and we're doing the trudge work and we're in the weeds and we're like batting our heads against the wall and there's no motivation or inspiration in what we're doing. So this is what we're trying to get at for you guys, for all our clients, is you manage your time however you like. If you're a 2 a.m. person, go your hardest, but make sure it's on the things that you're obsessed with. Make sure it's on the things that you love. And then sleep till midday if you want. It's your business.
Yeah.
Do it however.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. All right. So we want to do one last, I guess, you know, you're used to the takeaways concept in coaching, Stace and Jeff, but let me ask, if there was one bit of advice, I mean, we've already had some free advice multiple times from Jeff, I feel, in this, but let's go with the big clanger from each of you. What's one thing you'd say to people listening to this about hamster wheel life? Like, what would you say to them?
Mine is 100% that we're a team. We both have the same goal, whether it's in the office or on the work site. And that's where I reckon the disconnect is with 90% of companies that are working husband and wife. There is a 100% disconnect. We both need to get together, listening to each other and listening to the processes of everything. Like, Stacey struggles sometimes with not understanding like a quote because she doesn't understand the job. We'll explain it. Because it will come out better on your quote.
Yeah.
Like that.
And you take video.
Now I video a lot, so it's a lot easier for her to understand. And my takeaway is that there's two people in the business, your husband and your wife, or partner, whatever it is, do it together. That's what it's about. It's much more fun, especially when you start kicking your goals.
Love it. And what about for you, Stacey? What's the thing you'd tell people?
That I've been taught to do things intentionally now. Like when I'm looking at it, like to measure things, look at the figures, like everything's intentionally. There's a reason why we're doing things now. We're just not just going, oh my gosh, we're thinking like just go out there and do whatever. Like there's an intention behind everything. So, and that intention allows them to have the intention of what we want to do in our personal world. So, yeah, it's the intention behind it all that we've been taught.
I think we both used to just go, oh, everything's shitty, let's go to work. I go to work, I'll work harder, make things right. Now we actually do it less because you know what? Stay in the office, chill out, fill my quotes out, do some paperwork is actually so much more financially beneficial than going busting ass on site with the boys, pissing them off, making it worse because I'm frustrated. It's just getting smarter with things like that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Money made in the office, not on the job site necessarily. Yep, love it. And Teresa, give us a bit of a summary, I suppose, of what you see for these guys or have seen or are hopeful for moving forward as their coach.
Don't cry.
I know, right? I've had a few tears today. Yeah, look, in a way, it's almost as well like we're just getting started, hey? Like, I feel like the last 12 months we've cleaned up a lot, and now it's like, right, things have we've worked on a lot of the foundational stuff. Now let's go. Like, let's get bigger. Let's sorry, not bigger like
Scale, but
but like, dream bigger, think bigger, set bigger goals, those sorts of things. And there's absolutely still things that we're still working through and working on, but it feels exciting now. Like, I'm so pumped for these guys for this new financial year and just the new level of business that we're at. And like what's to come. It's just like buckle up because it's just getting bigger and better.
Yeah.
beautiful.
100%.
Yeah. And like these two, so much respect for each other. Every single session. Like, Jeff is just an absolutely doting husband on Stace. Like,
I just don't do it all the time. I'm just really good on camera.
Is it really? It's just a show, damn it. But they have honestly been committed to this process together. Like, it hasn't been one or the other. It's 100% been both of them supporting each other, working together, keeping each other accountable when I'm not, there every day. And that's really got us or got you to this point. So, testament to you two for just absolutely doing all the hard things, even though it's hard and scary. Love you.
Absolutely amazing. Congratulations to all three of you. And Stacey and Jeff, thank you so much. We've gone well over what we would normally for a podcast, but there was too much juice in there that I could not pull away. So thank you for all that you've just generously shared with this audience. It will help other people. And a huge congratulations. We can't wait to see you guys in October. I noticed that come through. It's going to be great to meet you in person. And it's just a privilege and a pleasure to see beautiful people like you guys just absolutely kicking butt without the grind. Like, you're off the hamster wheel now. That foundation is in. Who knows what's next? So look forward to watching that.